Welcome to Uncloaked Illusions. I'm Chris Anthony, and my voice is a little shot to shit, so mind that. I wanted to touch bases on a local election that transpires tomorrow in New Orleans. And this is for the Mayoral position. It's between two candidates, Latoya Cantrell and Desiree Charbonnet. Now, both candidates are Democrats. You know how I feel about the Democratic Party. And little history on the Democratic Party, especially in the Deep South. They passed legislature and created legislature that would enforce segregation. They were against the 14th, 15th, and 16th Amendments. They were pro-slavery. They did not want to break with the peculiar institution of slavery in the South. It was marketable for them, and it was very profitable. So the Democratic Party has not changed. There's no modifications. It just repackaged and marketed itself. That's it. Now, one thing I noticed about the entire campaign thus far is in the debates, no one spoke about the issues in New Orleans. No one spoke about the high crime rate. Now, last year alone, 175 murders occurred, and most of them were unsolved. We are literally number 2 on a list of 10 of most dangerous cities filled with crime. And this exceeds the numbers from 2012. So it's not gotten any calmer. It's not gotten any better. It's gotten worse. And also, according to Harvard's data, New Orleans was number 2, of course, of 10 worst metro areas for crime. Now, also, we were number 2 on Harvard's data for worst metro areas for cash-strapped renters as well. So that has to do with the stock of affordable housing being so low. And yes, rent is very, very expensive here. And the wages and the jobs, it does not have its equilibrium. Makes it a little bit difficult to survive down here in the Big Easy. Now, the minimum wage hike push, I do understand. Economically speaking, we're not prepared for such a hike. You can revisit what happened in Washington State. You can revisit California. You can revisit New York. They hiked the wages up, and people lost jobs. People lost hours. People were replaced with kiosk machines. Also, no one spoke about the $527,000 that suddenly came up missing with Susan and Water Board. The auditor, he publicized this on September the 25th, yet you hear very little conversation or debate occurring about where this money was misappropriated to. And that's a major issue in Louisiana. That's a major issue in New Orleans in general. And the political corruption here is so robust, according to an FBI special agent in charge, Jeffrey Sally. He's basically pointed out that he has never seen this magnitude of political corruption in any city. And that's, I'm not going to say that's difficult to believe, because New Orleans has its history etched in political corruption. And it goes back extensively. Ray Nagin, Mayor Mark Mayoral, and the list goes on. Now, with that being said, these two candidates, they're sort of etched into their own scandal. LaToya Cantrell, she is a former community organizer from California. Hint, hint. So was Obama, and look what he pretty much did to the country. It's interesting how you mention Obama, and everyone has these fictitious ideas of what Obama did for the country, and he did absolutely nothing. What's even more striking is they cannot point out what he provided, what he did. Black community was not better off with Obama. It was worse off, actually. That's what many will not talk about. Now, unless you consider receiving governmental assistance and food stamps as progress, then that works for you, I suppose. And Obamacare, which is literally imploding, that works for you. And Obama was the first and only president thus far to have not 1 year in his tenure where he produced at least 3% of a GDP growth. Economically, his economic policies did nothing but cripple the nation even more so. But I'm going to move on to Desiree Charbonnet. She's a former municipal court judge, and she's been in this judiciary system for about 20 years. Mind you, 20 years of absolutely no growth in our judiciary system. 20 years of the crime still being rampant. 20 years of certain people from certain circumstances being able to get off and others not being able to get justice to be fair. I don't know if I would want any of these candidates running the Mayoral system, because it's already decapitated from the previous mayors. It's already voided out. It's already voided out. Now, there was other notes that I made. You know, they both tried to smear each other, which is also another means of distracting people and trying to make it interesting. But I hope the New Orleanians are smart enough to see past this. I'm being a little hopeful, but hopeful that they can see past this. And they were basically smearing each other with a lot of negativity on each person's past discrepancies, which I do say is necessary, especially when you're running for office. And like Cantrell has misappropriated funds in California, why wouldn't she do it here? And Desiree Charbonnet has been in the judiciary system for 20 years, and nothing has evolved, nothing has improved in our judiciary system in New Orleans for 20 years. So why would she be a better candidate as a mayor as well? So again, both candidates are flawed candidates, and not flawed in the sense where you can overlook certain things. It was just something of a past incident that just transpired. No, both are governmental officials on some level, and they both did nothing to improve their communities. Instead, one made sure the judiciary system did not improve and did not provide actual justice, and the other misappropriated funds to line her own pocket, her husband's, and her stepfather's pockets. So that needs to be considered. We're being hassled up and given two evils, and we now have to choose yet again from the lesser of two evils. And I feel like something needs to be done where we're not put in positions like this. We need to get reliable, and credible officials in office. I don't think that that's even possible, because the government and anyone in government now is just littered in corruption. Now, we'll see how this fares out. I believe there was maybe another point that I wanted to make. Let me check my little notes and itinerary. Okay, that was everything. Of course, we're suffering with our education system. The funds in that area are depleted as well. Our Department of Public Works also failing. Oh, there was a program that Kentrell had mentioned she would like to implement, which is titled Pay for Success. Now, this would include former prisoners that could receive job training and jobs through a city-run temporary employment agency. Now, that sounds like a really, really liable program. However, again, and this is Latoya Cantrell, she just seems to love being able to misappropriate funds again. I don't believe that that's necessary, because I feel like a program that would probably be more tangible, that would probably work, is trying to create programs that will give the young something to do. And not trying to catch them once they've already been corrupted. It's difficult to remove that element from a person once it's implemented. Maybe we can work on programs that can give the kids something to do after school, that can give kids something to dab in that has something to do with their talent. And I don't mean a rapper or a singer or, you know, some kind of person in entertainment. Give them tangible goals to aspire toward. This would be also a huge issue in misappropriation of funds, because again, they come out and they do the same thing for the most part. They go, they sit in prison, they figured out another method of how to get over on the system, and they come out and they do the same thing. It won't change anything. It'll just be another failed program, you know, kind of like that failed program, the war on drugs, which has only made the black communities especially far off worse. Now, subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, give me your opinion of some of these issues that's transpiring in New Orleans and that's ongoing, and no one really wants to talk about the major issues. Instead, they want to, again, pussyfoot around the issues that need to be addressed. You can follow me on Twitter. It's UncloakTheLuge1. You can look forward to my Facebook that I'm going to pretty much start a group on Facebook, a political group, maybe a community organizer group, since that seems to be the trend at this point. Facetious. Also, you can go to my blog, Uncloak Delusions. You can stay in touch with me and stay logged in through the YouTube channel. Kind of new to the YouTube thing, so still finding myself in this area. And I'm out.